The reason I think Freddy Krueger's portrayal in his 1994 meta flick Wes Craven's New Nightmare the reason why I think Freddy Krueger's portrayal in the 1994 meta flick Wes Craven's A New Nightmare is underrated because the film sent Freddy Krueger back to his roots as intended. And what I mean by that, well, Craven returned to direct this film after the last films were directed by others who really didn't share Craven's envision for Freddy Krueger. Well, remember, Craven was the original creator of said character. He thought, as well as others, that Krueger had become too comical and silly in the past films. Well, Wes Craven said, no more silly Freddy. Silly Freddy. Well, this film is set in 1994 in the real world. Now, Freddy is not fully seen until midway through the film, but he makes his presence very, very well known in this film. He terrorizes Heather Langenkamp, aka Nancy, and her family, first by deleting her own husband, who was in control of a pair of knife gloves, as well as part of the new film's production. I'll get to that later. He terrorizes Heather's son, Dylan, causing him to have fits, nightmares, screams, using him somewhat of as a conduct for his killing later in the film. Not to mention, after a meeting with Wes Craven, Nancy, aka Heather, we learned that Freddy is ancient demonic entity that was freed after the release and conclusion of the previous film, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. The entity's goal is to be freed into the real world and to stop the making of a new Nightmare film that is in the process of filming on the New Line Cinema premises, which Heather's husband did work on. The entity stalks Robert Englund, phone stalks the producer and founder of New Line Cinema, Robert Shea, kills Dylan's babysitter in a dream sequence, terrorizes other crew members, but his main goal is to get rid of Heather for good. Heather must portray Nancy once again to save her son from this spirit who has now kidnapped the boy after tormenting the boy for the whole entire film. Also, Freddy creates his own hellish realm, the Boiler Room. Heck, Freddy made Heather seem like an unfit parent to the doctors in this film, just causing all kinds of chaos. But Freddy is defeated when mother and son throw the villain into his own furnace. But according to Craven, Freddy is now locked up for good. In this film, Freddy is allowed to be sinister, evil as hell, all about business, causing terror in the Los Angeles area, causing the 1994 Northridge earthquakes. He is given a new glove, a more deadly, demented, sharper glove, darker clothes. He's given a more organic appearance to help his more sinister appearance. Henson, I think, and some others ranked as his best portrayal in film. And I really like it. It's just, he's evil. He actually makes you scared. He causes terror in the viewer of this film. Unlike the other portrayals. Well, maybe the first one. Maybe 1984. But anyways, and we get Freddy vs. Jason and a new Nightmare on Elm Street reboot that happens 10 and 15 years later. Backsliding once again. Actually, I would say Freddy vs. Jason wasn't that bad, but actually the last two films weren't that bad. Nightmare on Elm Street it was written poorly in my eyes. But anyway.